It's gorgeous out. Let's pop some ducks.
This is the Upduck Podcast, a blend of upland and waterfowl hunting. Tune in as your hosts, Tyler Beaton, Jeff Ludicky, Matt Jeske, chat about training dogs and share their bird hunting stories, tactics, and strategies.
Really? I feel like the crumble cookies, I feel like no matter what the flavor is or whatever type of cookie, they all taste the same.
Yeah,
they all have that very similar flavor.
They're making little pies and stuff too now, so those are super good.
I just like that traditional, like soft chocolate chip cookie from the grocery store. That's all I need.
Yeah,
that's my favorite.
Yeah, okay, I'm not a crunchy cookie guy either.
No, they got to be soft.
Got to be soft.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just wait. Matt, how do you feel about crumble cookies?
Crumble cookies are good.
Yeah.
Are they better than grocery store cookies? Because I'm pretty sure I just heard like someone.
Thick.
Yeah.
You can only eat like a quarter slice of one of them things.
You cut them in quarters.
Yep.
That is true.
And then you eat 8 quarters. And that's fine.
Yeah.
I just destroyed the whole thing in like 30 seconds. But that's
I do every time, and I feel so terribly sick. So they only order them when I'm not in the house. So I was recently steelhead fishing over the weekend. I did a whitewater raft steelhead thing with my buddy for 3 days, and I come home to a half-eaten box of crumble cookies, and that was Sunday night. And as of Monday morning, they were all gone, and that was me. Yeah, I'm terrible.
Excellent.
I'm the odd man out here not liking crumble cookie. Jeez.
It's all right. I remember people with me.
I just can't believe you said a grocery store cookie was better than a crumble cookie.
Oh yeah, like the ones in the bakery, like the Pick and Say or whatever kind of grocery store you have. Just the freshly made ones in the bakery section. I take that over crumble anything.
It's like the last meal. How people have like Kraft mac and cheese when you can have whatever you want. You can order steak and lobster, but these guys are eating peanut butter sandwiches and Kraft macaroni and cheese.
Jack's Pizza. Most times I take a Jack's Pizza over takeout pizza too. I like the simple things in life, Tyler.
I'm at a loss for words here. Dude,
I'll destroy a whole Jack's Pizza though with some ranch dressing on the side. Oh, watch out, man.
Oh, dude. You know what's weird is that they eat blue cheese on the East Coast. So when I go to Harrisburg for my trade shows, we go and get pizza. I take everybody out to pizza. On the company, there's 10 of us. I'm the only one that orders ranch. Everybody orders blue cheese and dips their freaking pizza into the blue cheese.
Oh,
it's the strangest thing.
That sounds awful.
That sounds odd. That sounds terrible. Before we go any further here, we continue this food conversation. And prior to recording, it was a lesson on beer, on pouring of beer, which George, we don't need to get into again here. We need to get our guest introduced. He is a repeat guest for us. He is Mr. Bluebird Waterfowl himself, the one, the only George Parker. What's happening, George?
Repeat offender.
That's right.
who is wearing a Lions hat?
That's right.
You live in California, so
yep.
How does California? Yeah. What happened?
So I grew up in Michigan, and when I was 9 in '94, we moved to California. So my whole family obviously spent a lot more time in Michigan than I do. Has been hardcore Lions fans their whole life. When I moved to San Diego, I kind of did the Chargers thing just because the stadium was down the road, So I lived there for 10 years as a captain. So I got into the Chargers a little bit. Plus the Lions were just terrible. So a little bit of bandwagon, a little bit of family blood. But yeah, I mean, my family's been hardcore Lions since the very, very beginning. So I'm just hoping that they make the Super Bowl before the old man goes away, So he's 72 now. And really excited for them to get to the bowl before his time comes. So he's been waiting. He's watching every single game, dude. It's been a sad couple of decades, but it's our time now.
Yeah. Last year was the year. It wasn't for the injuries. I thought they were the best. They're the best team in the NFL last year, but their defense was just decimated. But anyway, we digress.
Did you watch the last 2 games? Because the last 2 games, dude, I mean, 54 and their last score was 46. So, I mean, they're doing good, you know. Plus, their defensive coordinator was raised in that franchise, so he's not something like he hasn't seen before. Who's it? Johnson that went away, right? So, you know, he learned from that guy. I got high hopes. In fact, I got money riding on it. So we need
we got to bring him down a little bit. Let's talk about week 1, George. What happened in week 1 against our Packers?
You know, I was on the road and didn't see it. So maybe you can tell me.
Hardly counts.
I need them to win 14 games. So they win 14 games, I'm good. I win. So
that's a lot.
Yeah, I'm already down by. I got 2 more games to lose, and I already lost.
I was gonna say after week 1, you're probably sweating it pretty bad.
I was not excited after week 1. No.
Nice.
Oh, all right. Let's we need to get back on the main tracks here, the main road or whatever.
Do we? I'm having a great time with you guys. You guys are awesome.
We're just hanging out here. What else we want to talk about? I mean, George, you want to educate us on pouring beer again? I mean, what, you know, do you need to top your glass off?
Yeah, no, I'm going to, but not on film. You know, no evidence, no harm, no foul. How have you guys been? How's the show going? You guys just did your 100th episode, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So that's a big deal, right? To you guys. Hey.
Cheers. Yeah. Jeff, you got a beer?
I had a beer before dinner. So I had my beer before dinner. Now I'm just drinking water. But I did have my cookie. Hence why we got on the cookie conversation. We were chatting away before we hit record, and I finished the damn cookie before we even started the podcast. Now all I got is water.
Self-control, Jeff.
Yeah.
Dude, I have none. I was up eating crumble cookies at 11:30 last night. Went straight to bed. Woke up feeling terrible. I got no self-control.
This is like the gathering of the middle-aged men here, right? We're complaining about like eating food right before bed and waking up and feeling sick. 10 years ago, that does not happen.
No.
Yes. Oh, speaking of which, since we're old, let me tell you what happened over the weekend. I was out. I was on a steelhead trip with a friend of mine, and you know, the first time I went on this trip was 3 years ago. And we get into this big rubber boat. It's a canoe. It's 14 feet long. We strap in all our stuff, and we're sitting in front of this nice, calm bit of river. And I'm like, all right, we're going to go down this calm, you know, Russian River style kind of cruise, and we're going to catch some steelhead, do some camping. It's going to be great. We come around the corner to what, if you asked me, was a level 5 rapid, but he said it wasn't even gradable because it was so small. But I didn't realize that was part of this trip, that we were going to be going through boulders down through whitewater, holding all of my $800 fly rods. So that's just to put into perspective what I did this last weekend. So apparently we did go through a level 2 is what he said it was when we went down it. But I'm in the front of this thing, and the only way I feel safe is to get low because he has seats up high, and not down the rapids. I'm not staying up high. So I get on my knees down in the front, and I'm helping him paddle through this rapid. Well, we come up over one of these big rocks and straight down into what he described as was like a pyramid stone with just a sharp edge on top. And right where the sharp edge hit the boat was right where my kneecap was, and just crushed. My kneecap is black and blue, and I'm not sure I'm ever going to recover from it being poured. It might just always be that color now. But yeah, that's my I'm old story for the weekend.
You know, you'll be able to feel the weather coming in, a little cold front coming in, your knee will flare up, you know. Oh, I think it's going to rain here in the next couple days.
Right.
I can feel it in my bones.
I won't be able to hunt the front anymore. I'm like, oh, they're coming. You guys got to go.
Yeah.
No, but I'm happy to be here again, guys. Thank you for having me on, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You got a lot of new exciting stuff to talk about since the last time we had you on.
Yeah. I don't know about a lot. You know, we definitely have a lot to talk about. But yeah, we got some new stuff. You know, we came out with our wings this year.
Yep.
So
I'm gonna interrupt you, George, though. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. If someone did not listen to the first episode you were on, right, and they haven't heard of Bluebird Waterfowl before, we need to just take a step back. Like, who's Bluebird Waterfowl? Who are you? Like, give us like the 60-second Cliff Notes version here. Get everybody up to speed, and then we'll talk about the wings.
I am nobody important. I'm a regular duck hunter, just like everybody listening to this that came up with a dumb idea with an awesome buddy on a regular crappy hunt. And I invented something that we took to market called the Animator. And it helps move water with spinning wing decoys. So it snaps onto the spinner, fully adjustable, lightweight, packable, kind of like a zip tie type of thing, but much higher quality and permanent with lifetime warranty, and introduces the concept of using water sound to attract and finish waterfowl. So that was our flagship product. My name's George Parker, and I invented it, and I own Bluebird Waterfowl. We have some contractors that are involved in helping us out across the country. Rocky Stockdale, his wife Sarah Stockdale, his son Austin, Ethan Vogel, Phil Bonifield is out in Arkansas now in Jonesboro. He helps us out a bit. Forrest Hale helps us out at the NWTF trade show. Ben Racine is a guide that hunted with our products a few years ago and now has become part of helping us out with the company as well. So there's quite a few guys involved now. But you know, I am the only person who works here. You know, I'm the guy who answers the phone if you call, and you know, that's who I am.
Excellent. Excellent.
I think I went over 60 seconds.
That's,
you want to start over? Should we do it again?
That's okay. Not unless you want to practice for the next podcast. All right. And so all three of us stopped over at your booth up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin at the Waterfowl Hunters Expo, right? Put on by the WWA. And I think we were all intrigued by the new wings you have coming out. So I think we all want to learn a little bit more. There is a lot to talk about with them. So
there can be.
Yeah, I mean, they're right. So my first question with the wings, before we actually describe what the wings are, and then I'll start asking questions.
They are wings that replace your current spinning wing decoy wings.
Okay. Excellent.
That's what the wings are.
So
okay.
Tell us why somebody would want to replace the current wings that they have on their spinning wing decoy.
Well, I mean, the logical reasons would be that they broke or that they lost them. They sunk to the bottom of the marsh. There's a variety of reasons why somebody would need to replace their wings. Moving into why we invented the wings would be the supplement of our wings into the current wing set that you already own, right? So we can supplement our wings into certain different environments. So let's take a step back to fishing, right? I'm a huge fisherman. I love fishing. I'm fishing the U.S. Open in Mojave here in another week. I'm prepping for that, so I'm excited about that. But bass fishing and duck hunting are at the soul of my being. And with bass fishing, we don't just take one lure and go out fishing. We go out with one lure and they don't bite it. Then we go and we take the lure and we go home. But that's what we do with spinners, right? We take one type of spinner, colored on one side, white on the other, wing shape generally. We put it out, and if our birds don't come into them, if our fish don't bite, we take them out. We go home. Why don't we change what we give to the animal? So if I go out in the morning, I'm throwing a topwater popper. I'm going to catch my fish on poppers and stick baits until they stop biting topwater. Once they stop biting topwater, I don't pack up. I'm switching over to reaction. I'm using chatterbaits, Alabama rigs. I'm going jerk baits, something to get their attention and get them to bite reaction. If they don't bite that, I don't just pack up and go home. I'm picking up my drop shot, my Senko, my jig, right? We're changing what we give the animal depending on the animal's behavior. And generally, we change our behavior when the animals flare off of our given bait, right? If you will. So what Bluebird Waterfowl is introducing with these wings is different shapes, different sizes, different colors. So you can change what you give the birds. When they flare off of one type, you switch it to a different type, different shape, different color, different speed. gives you an opportunity to continue using your spinning wing decoy instead of just going out with one lure and going home when the fish don't bite it, right? So aside from that, the reason we started this project was that I thought wings should float. I don't know why they don't, but now they do. All of our wings float. They're made of a hyperdense foam. It was extremely difficult to get the balancing right. Again, with the connectors, this isn't something that, you know, I took a bunch of Mojo connectors off and then put my wings on and hot glued them. This is a start to finish 3D project on Fusion 360 on the computer that I'm on this video on right now, starting from nothing, moving into a completely rejuvenated system of attaching the connector to the wing. So they don't pull off ever. They don't spin off ever. And they all float. So that's what's important to know about Bluebird waterfowl wings. So that's probably the best place to start on why and what the wings are.
It is pretty silly when you think about it. Why the hell don't they float, right? That is the number one question that comes to mind. It doesn't make sense.
I mean, Jeff, opening day of teal season this year, you nearly lost a wing on one of your spinners.
Yep. Came off twice. And luckily we were in some shallow water and some vegetation, and it was just kind of
it was hanging up on the vegetation. Yeah, I went back to pop it back in, and as I got there, it flipped off the vegetation and it started to sink, and I grabbed it 6 inches below the surface of the water.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's something
I've lost them before.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's with business, there's folks who make razors, and then there's folks who make razor blades, right? So the razors are the permanent thing that you hold that hold the razor blade. You know, the companies that make the most money, they make razor blades. You know, you got to keep replacing them. And of course, when you've got 1 million customers replacing razor blades constantly, that guy's going to make hundreds of millions of dollars. But the guy who sold the quality handle sold it once. So we decided early on that we wanted to make razors. We didn't want to be a razor blade company. We wanted to make products that would last a lifetime. And even if you did lose them or break them, they would be covered. And that's what we did. And that's what we're going to continue to do. I don't know how the wings are going to turn out because we just sold our first, I think we've got about 420 sets left out of the first 2,000 that we've ordered for the season. We're going to find out real quick how George's lifetime warranty interacts with the wings. But you know, from our testing, so far it's been great. I did get a phone call from one of our prototype testers. You know, he goes, "Hey, George, I want to let you know I was carrying the decoy through some corn and the wing broke." And I'm like, "Okay, well, this is what I've been waiting for these phone calls. You know, how did it break? You know," I said, "Did you like drop it into the corn? Did a corn fall off and hit it? Did you walk through a stalk? Like how did it break?" And he goes, "Oh, I don't know." He said the connector just snapped in half. And I said, "The connector can't snap in half. It's injected fiber-filled DuPont nylon. It can't. The foam would break before the nylon would break. Just, you know, science." Turns out he had been hunting with one of our prototypes that he thought was the finished product. So that was the only break so far, was a prototype break, which they break. They're prototypes. They're 3D printed, you know. So I was expecting to hear more back from these guys who are hunting with them, but the only thing that I've heard so far is limits with the 6-inch high-vis. So they seem to be doing their job really well.
I say maybe that's the next thing to talk about, is like looking at as a lucky duck guy. There's you got a 8-inch floating slow motion, 6-inch floating high-vis, 9-inch floating low light, and 11-inch low light. What's the differences there, and what have you been seeing more people buy, or what are you like? What's your guidance on the options there?
So there's 100% chance you have my website pulled up. Nobody calls them that but me. Yeah. I'm glad because that's their purpose, right? So the high visibility are exactly that. They're high vis. You know, there's in the fishing industry, you know, I was a captain for a long time. There's something that we said, you know, that lure was designed to catch fishermen, not fish, right? So they got all these fancy, you know, jerk bait looking things that people are casting out for yellowtail. They don't want to bite. They want to bite a giant piece of metal that looks like a donkey turd with a treble hook on it. That's what they bite. They're called surface irons, and that's just what they bite. But people buy all this fancy stuff thinking that they need it, that they'll give them the edge to get that bite over the other fishermen. Duck hunting's become the same thing. It's become the same thing. And I love a high quality product. Don't get me wrong. AVNX makes a beautiful decoy. The new Mojo Mallard has an amazing, a lot of these guys are using wood, like champion wood carvers to start their molds. Like these are beautifully carved, blow molded bodies for these decoys. And I get it. If you wanted to keep it in your living room, I get it. If you want to kill ducks, it doesn't matter. It doesn't at all. It doesn't need to look like a duck. It doesn't need to be the right species. It doesn't even need to be the right shape. The most powerful product I've ever hunted with, we hunt here in California, is called the Blade. And Mojo just patented.
I was just going to bring that up. I listened to a whole podcast about the history of the Blade and the California Blade. It's a big, I mean, that's where it started, and the idea behind that all started in California. So that's funny. I was going to mention that.
Yep, and I'm constantly in contact with the creator of that product, and you know, he's just never had to patent it. He builds them out of his garage. He's always behind. He's always backed up. And I've talked to him many times. I'm like, dude, get a patent, push this thing out to the country. I'll help you organize your stuff. We can do it together. But that's just not how he rolls. So here comes Mojo and says, well, I'm going to go ahead and put a patent on this thing. So I did remind Matt is his name. I was like, even though Mojo patented it, there's something called prior art that gives Matt the right to continue building it, even though Mojo might have a patent on it. So it might prevent guys like me from making it, but it doesn't prevent the originators from making it. So long story short, these things have been around for 25 years. If you don't know what it is, it's 2.5 feet long. It's 10 inches tall. It's got a white side and a black side, and it sits on a football goalpost. It is the ugliest piece of metal that you will ever see. And we crush ducks with those things. Crush them. They'll land right next to them. They look nothing like a duck. They're not the size of a duck. They have no wings. They have no shape. They have nothing. In fact, they squeal when they spin. Right? Crushes ducks. So if we can get that concept inside our head, that it doesn't need to look like a duck, it doesn't need to be the shape of a duck, and it doesn't need to do anything but what it's supposed to physiologically do, which is scientifically attract waterfowl using a strobing effect. Now we can talk about why I did my wings. Because my wings don't look like wings. Mm-hmm. They look like paddles. The small 6-inch, they spin fast, and they're very high-vis, very similar to like a Mojo flock flicker. Right? So you can take a standard decoy, pull your wings off, and put on this small paddle and turn your decoy into a very high visibility, small flock flicker style paddle, right? Mm-hmm. So let me close this down here. I've got Discord on with my son, and I just heard him log on. I could just imagine he's like, Georgie. So the larger 8-inch, right? So this is my version of the Blade. This is George Parker's version of turning a standard decoy into a blade-sized machine, right? 8 inches, giant paddles, slow spinning because they catch air, right? So they slow the wing speed down about 20 to 30%. Black on one side, white on the other. And when they spin, dude, you can see these things from 500 yards away, just thumping. And that's why we made them. They're called the high visibility slow motion. So if we know that this strobing effect has a positive reaction to birds in the early season, we have to ask ourselves why, right? Why in the early season do spinners work well and in the later season they don't? It's not because in the early season the birds forgot what a spinner looks like. It's because the birds you're shooting are first-year birds and they've never seen one before. You're shooting young birds that have not interacted with that strobing effect. It's a scientific, Terry Denman, the owner of Mojo, calls it an ocular reaction. Yep. So it's a visual reaction, scientific attraction to the strobing effect. So these birds fly over, they see the strobe, they go, other birds. I'm safe with other birds. And they come right down to them, which is why they were so hyper effective for the first decade they were around. But that's also why they flare later season birds and older birds, the second, third, fourth year birds, the veteran birds that are harder to shoot. They feel that same trigger. They feel that same ocular reaction. Let's call it a feeling instead of a visual thing, right? Because if you've ever stood next to a strobe light, you can close your eyes and you still feel it. You can feel that light hitting your body. You can feel that light hitting your eyelids. You might see something, but it's more of an environment, a feeling. So if that feeling is triggered, when birds see this strobe, they feel safety. Veteran birds feel that trigger. They see danger. They hear gunshots. They know there's trouble. Now, well, why did the birds come all the way down and flare right, when they were getting ready to start working close? Because if you stand away from a spinner 300 yards, you barely see it. The birds don't see it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They get down close enough where they can see it. They feel it. They know immediately, I've done this before, and they flare off, which is why we pull our decoys out of the water. Well, when Bluebird Waterfowl first came out, the answer was the Animator, right? Well, since they're flaring off our decoy, what can we do with the decoy to utilize this duck-shaped motor to still attract ducks, because the wings aren't working? So we made the Animator, where you snap them on, set the plate height to the water, and introduce water sound wingless. Now we can use our spinner as a water motion and sound device. But when we made these wings, I asked myself why these birds are flaring. And if the answer is an ocular trigger, then the answer to getting them not to flare is to remove the ocular trigger. And how do you do that? How do you take a strobing effect and remove it? Paint both sides. So there's no white side on our low lights. They're colored on both sides. In fact, most of the wing is not only the same color, it's the same tone, it's the same shade. So not the whole wing doesn't strobe or flash. Just the feathers on the outside go from a lighter brown to a darker brown, just to give the feeling of motion, but there's no strobing effect at all. So when you use the low lights, it completely removes the ocular strobing effect, therefore removing that danger trigger, but keeping that 3D wing effect in the spread. So you can change your wings depending on how the birds are reacting to. So let's say in the morning we're using our 6-inch high-vis, the sun's not up yet. We're crushing some teal, maybe some woodies, getting some, some of the smaller flybys. And then the sun comes up and the big ducks show up and they're flaring off your 6-inch. Pull off the 6-inch, put on the low lights. Keep that 3D effect in your spread. We have two different sizes, 9-inch and 11.5-inch. So you can decrease or increase the profile of your spinner. Kind of like buying an oversized floater. Let's say that they're flaring off of your low lights. Take them off and put on the Animator. Wingless, completely wingless. We're not taking our decoy out yet. Now we're attracting ducks using water sound, adding water motion to the spread. And as the morning goes on, the sun goes high, the weather calms down, and those birds are flying 200 to 300, 400 yards up above you. Spoiler, they don't see your spinners. They're on a mission, and it's not to stop where you're at. How do we get their attention? And that's where a blade style product has really found its home. These guys in California hunting are hunting pressure birds, generally flying from refuge to refuge with no intention on stopping in the marshes. But if we can grab their attention from that height, we've been known to peel off entire flocks, not just a few birds, but you'll get the whole flock to turn down, and then you'll peel off 5 to work. Putting on the slow motion, high visibility, mid-morning to late morning when those birds are up high, grabs their attention from super far away to where you can start working birds again, especially if you have a remote. Get their attention, get them working, turn it off, start calling using the Animator, whatever else, pulsators and jerk cords, uppers, downers, screamers, shakers, whatever your favorite thing is, and kill your birds, right? But the wings are designed to be carried with you at all times. You want at least 3 sets, a high-vis, a low light, and your standard wings that came with your decoy. Now that's a lot of crap to carry around. So we brought out our new wings bag. And the wings bag is rubberized mesh. So it dries your wings. It has 3mm floating plastic sheet in the back that floats on its own inherently. So you can put these wings inside a wing bag. What I'm recommending is you have 1 wing bag per spinner with at least 3 sets of wings per spinner. High-vis, low light standards. Then you take these bags and they sit perfectly with each other. They could put them right in your decoy bag, right? So if you're hunting high-vis in the morning, you have high-vis on everything. if you're going to switch off a high-vis, you can't just switch them off one decoy. It doesn't do anything, right? You're going to flare them off with the other high-vis. So you got to pull them all off, put on your low lights or put on your standards. So having these wing bags allows you to store your wings safely, dry them in the process, and then change your wings and change your hunt depending on the bird's behavior that day. So that's our wings.
I love the analogy with the fishing. I mean, where it's changing baits, right? That makes perfect sense to me, that fishermen change their baits constantly, different colors, different sizes, different types of baits. But yeah, you're right. That just doesn't exist for spinning wing decoys until now.
Breaking the glass ceiling, baby.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, George, I listen to you talk and I'm like, I'm sold, right? Sign me up. Like, I'm going to go order my decoys right now. As soon as we're done, as soon as we hang up. You tested this for how long? How many years? Like a year? How many prototypes did you send out and test this with other guys with?
The wings?
Yes.
Oh, dude, we didn't. I trusted that these are going to work because I've hunted with the blades, because I've painted my own wings, because I wanted to share something I've been hunting with for a long time with the community. So here's how this happened. George, the inventor, wanted to make wings for a long time, but came out with the Animator first. And the Animator took off, and it's changed waterfowl hunting for thousands of hunters across the country. And we've been trying to just keep up and provide quality customer service to our Animator customers. Then Mojo comes out with their version of the blade. And I thought to myself, why would I go through the process of having to explain to people through paid marketing that your wings don't need to look like wings to kill ducks, when there's products like AV&X coming out with their patented curved pattern that makes such a massive difference that you have to have these particular patterns if you want to get better in birds. The mentality of duck hunters has been shifting towards higher quality paint jobs, more realistic detail, or you're not going to kill ducks. So for me, launching my wings was going to be an absolute pain in the neck to try to explain to consumers that these dumb looking paddles are going to kill birds. But then Mojo took that step for us. They took the blade from California and introduced it to the entire country. Their latest ad I saw said, selling out faster than they kill ducks. Because they are. They're selling them all across the country, and people are buying into the fact that it doesn't need to look like a duck to be effective. So I decided now's the time, ride the tailwind of a company putting out hundreds of thousands of dollars in marketing, explaining to duck hunters that your product doesn't need to look like a duck to kill ducks. And I can safely release what I've been waiting to release for a long time without having to put so much effort into another product. Talking about water sound with duck hunters has been just the most difficult thing I've ever done in my life, because just duck hunters will tell you it doesn't matter until they hunt with it. And they're like, oh, wait, George, it does. And I'm like, right. I didn't want to do that again. So when Mojo came out with their blade, I said, you know what? We're going to launch these paddles. We're going to do it. And while we're doing it, we'll make the low lights too. But to answer your question, this past February, this year, I was going to Harrisburg. And before I went to Harrisburg, I was walking my dog and I was listening to Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, which is a great book if you haven't read it. I listened to audiobooks when I walk, but one of the things was this guy really wanted to work for Edison. He really wanted to work for Edison. This book was written in the 1800s. And so he just prophesied it. He just kept focused on it. I'm going to work for Thomas Edison. I'm going to do it. And his thoughts came to fruition. And long story short, the guy ended up being a very close assistant to Thomas Edison. And I thought to myself, I've been thinking about these wings for a long time. Nobody's going to take the action unless I take the action. So I went home that day. I went to Walmart. I bought some foam board. I cut them in circles. I 3D printed some prototypes. And I took those prototypes that I made the day before to Harrisburg, and I started selling pre-orders. And I said, well, now that I've sold 500 pre-orders, I probably have to make them. now. I'm kind of stuck making them, and I forced myself into actually pulling the trigger on a project I had been considering for a long time. So the prototype testers are you guys. The prototype testers are the people that are buying them right now, because you have the Bluebird Waterfowl guarantee. If they suck, send them back. I'll give you your money back. Spoiler alert, they don't suck. They work very, very well. And I knew they were going to work well because we've hunted with similar tactics already. They might not look exactly the same, but I can tell you how to catch a yellowtail. I can tell you how to kill a duck, because animals are animals no matter where you go.
So same lifetime warranty that applies to the Animator applies to your wings too?
Lifetime satisfaction warranty is
Rated
important.
Lifetime satisfaction. Okay.
Yeah. So if you break them within the first year, I'll replace them. But I always, I just have conversations with people, dude. Like if you really don't like them, I'm not going to make you pay for them. It's no skin off my back if a couple hundred hunters call me and tell me they hate them. I'm like, okay, well then maybe I won't make these next year. It's good information to have. So it's my honor to refund people that would like refunds. I've been fortunate that we've only ever had 13 refunds ever in the 17,000 units that we've sold across the country, because my stuff works, because I made it myself. And if you have problems, you call me and you talk to me, and I could tell you how to use it. There's been times when folks call and they start off with requesting a refund, and the simple question I ask them is, are you having any trouble with it? And most times it's some type of user error. It's something simple. Well, it doesn't make the sound that it makes in your videos. Well, what are you using for batteries? Oh, my wife works at a hospital and I get recycled AA's because they can't use them for more than a year. And I go, well, that's your problem, right? So let's get some lithium AA's. A lot of times I'll buy these for the customers. I'll go on Amazon and I'll get the stuff that they need to be successful. I'll ship it right to their door. Look, man, I'll post your 2-star review. I'll give you your refund, but do me a favor. Use it how it's supposed to be used first, and then call me back and tell me if you still want your refund. Nobody does. In fact, quite the contrary. We get the 5-star reviews. We get the people posting on Facebook, about how awesome it was and the experience that they had with it, because it's not an easy thing to use. And teaching people how to use something difficult has gotten much more difficult over the years. Everybody in this podcast right here are Nokia block phone guys, right? The one game they had was Snake. They didn't have a camera. Right now, everything's on YouTube and Instagram, and everything's it's instant gratification. Well, some things still take time to learn. Calling is one of those things that you can't just pick up and know. You have to practice. And water calling is no different. So, my lifetime satisfaction guarantee comes down to the fact that if you're really unhappy with it, you get your money back. No questions asked. I might ask you one question. Is there a way that I can help you learn how to use it better before you get your refund? And most times the answer is yes. So it's been really rewarding to pass on that, to be able to offer that refund to hunters, knowing that all of us duck hunters combined, no matter how much we might think each other are a shithead for stealing the other guy's hole or whatever, are good people at heart and have good intentions. And so even with this lifetime warranty, we haven't been scammed. We haven't been ripped off. Guys want to learn how to use the product and appreciate the company. So, but yeah, so that big information circle, yeah, our wings are covered by the lifetime satisfaction, just like anything else we sell.
That's awesome. That's great. Now, are there any brands of spinners that a lot of people may have that your products don't work for?
Oh, yeah. So not to get too far into the history of spinners, but the patent just came up on the spinner not too long ago. So I think it was 94 when the patent was created. And so it expired in 2014. So it's only been about 11 years since the patent on the spinning wing decoy actually expired. And Higdon, I believe, just came out with a new spinner that we don't have animators for. I know, I think Dive Bomb was going to come out with a spinner. I don't know if it's this year or next year, but there's going to be some spinners we don't have animators for. We did, when I was younger in the company, as soon as we heard of a new spinner, jump on it, order it, get it fitted, get that animator out and get it going. And we might still do that for some of these new spinners, but a lesson that I learned in that is that the new spinners take time to catch on. And you might have 100, 200 hunters out there with the new spinner, maybe 1,000, but our percentage of hunters that are using the Animator with their spinner is much too low. So we might only sell, a dozen or 2 dozen of the new Animator for that year. So we found that the Avian X is a good example, because we started not much longer after the Avian X Powerflight came out, right? So the Avian X was relatively new when we started, and we sold very little Avian X animators. But now we're selling quite a few more than we used to, percentage-wise. Lucky Duck's around 39%. Mojo takes up another 40%. And then Avian X and Decoy Dancer and some of the others take up that last little 20% range combined. So it's still very low. It's not feasible for us to fit our animators onto the new decoys that are coming out quite yet, but it doesn't take much innovation or ingenuity to manipulate an animator to fit onto a decoy that you already own, even if it's not supposed to fit onto it. So I always tell people, get creative. I can't cover it once you start drilling holes in it, but I'd be glad to give you a buy one, get one on cams if you want to experiment, So
there's a lot of redneck engineering that happens in the waterfowl world.
Yeah, and hats off to you, man. And that's how this whole thing started. So who am I to tell you not to?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Now, while we're on the topic of animators, I was looking through the website and I see you have a V2, right? I assume that's version 2.
Yeah.
What's different about it? What did you upgrade, and what can we expect with the new one?
So the truth is what you get on this show, right? So here's what happened. The same thing that's going on with the wings right now. You're the prototype testers, right? We've come out with a product that we wanted to get to market before we get ripped off, and to allow hunters to use these things because they are brand freaking new. The ducks haven't seen them. You're going to kill birds and it's going to be great. Well, the Animator was the same thing. Let's get it to market. Let's get this thing out there to hunters. Let's get people using it, and let's see what test results come back, which is where my lifetime warranty came from in the first place. Because if you got one that sucked, I'm going to give you your money back or replace it for no charge. Free shipping, the whole deal, because I got your information. I got the information that cam's not designed to be hunted in negative 14-degree weather. I got the information that the plate's not as buoyant as I once thought it was. So we don't advertise that the plate floats anymore. I got information from our customers that hunted with our products. And in return, I offered them complete satisfaction that they were going to get a product they would be satisfied with. So the V2 Animator is the culmination of all that information into one completely problem-solved animator, right? Because some of the animators didn't like the nylon. The wings were too heavy. The cam diameter was too thin. So what do? Change the material to a polycarbonate, increase the 1/2-inch crankshaft into a 3/4, and retest. Voila. A perfectly good animator for the king mallard and the Avian X Powerflight, where the first 1,000 that we sold would either fall off or break, and we were replacing them full speed, right? Warranting out different animators for either wobbling too much or the cam snapping in half completely in cold weather. So the V2 has brand new magnet glue, DuPont fiber inside the nylon and polycarbonate. The plates are 30% lighter. The cams are 30% stronger. And everything's still covered by the same warranty. We did notice after a couple of years also that freshwater or saltwater, the screws that were supposed to be stainless aren't so stainless.
Mine did that.
I noticed that. Yep.
Yeah, I noticed that on mine just the other day.
Yes. So we upgraded them to brass. So now you get a brass set screw and a brass spring. We've changed the materials, increased or decreased the inner and outer diameters of the camshafts themselves to have a more snug, more receptive fit to the motor. Because believe it or not, even 1/100th of a millimeter off, 100th, not a 10th, will cause a wobble. So all the information we gathered over season 1, 2, and 3, we're moving into our 4th season now, has just been a godsend for us to be able to turn the standard animator into our version 2, which to me is just a perfect animator. It's all the problems have been solved.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I used the animator on our youth hunt this last weekend, and it was a super foggy morning, and we weren't getting too many birds coming into the decoys. We shot a couple wood ducks early, but I decided, I don't know why I didn't do it right out the jump, because it was a foggy day. I was like, I'm going to try this thing. You know, I had it along with me, and I kid you not, like, I put that thing on, didn't have any wings on it. The teal started just piling into the decoys.
Isn't that crazy?
Now the boys were missing a little bit, and that's okay. It's a youth hunt. There was some lessons learned there, but man, the birds started showing up. I kid you not. It was working. So yeah, it was great.
You got to imagine, you know, the way I see these animals, whether it's a tuna in the offshore world of the ocean, or a bird in a foggy, low visibility condition, I envision a desert, you know, and we're walking through the desert and we're looking for, I mean, God knows anything. We're looking for anything, any sign of life, sign of water, sign of food, anything, right? So let's say that we hear a clap and we go towards the clap and it's a lion. And we're like, ah, shit, I screwed up this time. And then you hear a clap. Well, I'm not going back where I hear the clap, but then you hear a guy say, hey, over here. And you're like, that's not a lion. That's a person. I'm going to go that way. In the desert of these wild animals, as they migrate in these areas that they might be somewhat familiar with, but not always. I mean, the odds of them traveling the exact same flight path and landing in the exact same backwaters is very rare. These are uncharted areas for these birds. And the one thing they're looking for is, hey, right? They're looking for actual ducks, right? They're avoiding spinners. They're avoiding gunshots. They know where the dangers are. The animator is introducing an entirely new concept, adding natural sound to a spread. So low visibility or clear visibility, these birds know that wings on the water sound means one thing, safety. Because there's one place in the world a duck never hears that sound, and that's when there's hunters nearby. It's perfectly silent. There might be some water motion, maybe some decoys, a pull string, a pulsator, whatever. But there's one sound that's never made when there's hunters nearby. Feeding, fighting, mating, bathing birds. You don't hear it. And if you do, it's normally coots. And I don't know if you've ever had a flat of coots about 150, 200 yards away from you that never seem to move when you shoot, no matter what. Even if you shoot at them, they just stay there. And they're all over there just happy, just flapping their wings and patting in the water and chasing each other around. And where the damn ducks land every single time? They land with the freaking coots because they know that those are birds and there's no hunters around birds. Birds aren't dumb. They're instinctive. They're very intelligent when it comes to their basic principles of life. Avoid danger, find food, and mate. Right. So that's what they do. And by introducing this sound that they know means safety, we're experiencing the power of spinning wing decoys all over again. It's all over again. The same ocular attraction that was making these veteran birds that were used to looking at gunshots and still decoys with no motion, maybe a jerk cord back in the 90s, these strobes were bringing them down in the droves because they knew that meant safety. Because there was one place they never saw that was when there was hunters around. Well, now they do. And they know that ocular trigger means danger. I don't know how long this water sound technique is going to last. I don't know how long it's going to be legal because the green genes are very good at taking away things that work well. But I'm telling you, if you're listening to this show, get on the bus. Because if you miss it, you're going to kick yourself down the road. I don't know why this happened to me or my family. But this water sound technique is a massive, massive deal, and you need to know about it. You do. And that's why. You just got to see it with your own eyes.
Oh, yeah. I'm a believer, especially in a foggy scenario like that where the visibility is just terrible. You know, they can hear that water slapping. And the weird thing about it, too, was, you know, typically you see blue-winged teal real early, right? We didn't see a single teal early on at all. I put the animator on at about 8:30 in the morning, and then we started seeing groups of teal start showing up. and I hadn't seen a teal all morning, which is just a weird coincidence that would have happened, you know?
It has to be either that or they're very sneakily just buzzing around away from you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because birds have sharp hearing. A guy posted, I always say I live under the bridge because I love looking for trolls on my posts, right? This guy goes, you're telling me a bird can hear that little clapping sound from 200 yards away? And I'm like, do they hear a widgeon whistle from 200 yards? Do they hear a teal whistle? Right? Of course they hear your loud ass blowing the hail call all morning. Like they hear that, but do they hear a whistle? And the answer is yes, they do hear a whistle because it's something they're listening for, right? If I'm walking through this desert, I can hear all kinds of sticks crunching or whatever. And when I know there's a lion over there because I've heard it before and I know what that is and it's danger. And when I'm walking through and there's brush and there's leaves and there's sticks and I hear, hey, I know that's a person because I've been there before and that means safety. We lose our instinctive nature because we're so surrounded constantly with colors and lights and television and just so many things breaking down what our senses actually are. There's a very unique trait that some blind people have gained is utilizing echolocation. Humans clicking with their mouth to locate furniture. They can tell what type of material a cup is made of, a human, because they've lost one of their senses. Their other senses heighten, and with practice and care, a human can get back to those instinctive tendencies where we were able to harness their God-given senses that keep us safe from danger. Well, animals never lost it. They're not staring at their iPhones. Animals know safety and they know danger. So did those birds just show up? Maybe, likely. But were they already there and they're listening for sounds that are familiar to them and mean safety? I argue there's a good chance of that too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, that's awesome. That's awesome. I'm excited to check out these wings. That's definitely one of the things I might have to add to the arsenal here. I think I'm convinced that I might need to get a set.
Think about Jeff, Matt, think about that dove hunt we did in the snow a few years ago. Think about those white flashing strobe light wings. Oh my gosh, we'd smash the doves.
Oh, dude, guys crushed doves with these things early season. And they had our prototypes, before we released them. So they were out there dove hunting with the 6-inch high-vis, and we were getting pile picks from guys hunting with them on that. But yeah, absolutely. They work for everything. Yeah.
So a question for you, George, right? We had dove season opened up here in Wisconsin, right? September 1st, or not dove season, yes, but teal season, I should say, opened up September 1st, right? In Wisconsin, it opened up in other places September 1st or shortly thereafter as well. What kind of feedback have you gotten on the wings early on out of the gates as people have bought them, right? Whether it's people at the Wisconsin or the Waterfowl Hunters Expo, other trade shows you did, anybody that pre-ordered and had them and took them on. What kind of feedback have you gotten so far? Like 3 weeks in, but
yeah, I mean, like I said, I had the one feedback about the one wing breaking, but that was a prototype.
Yep.
The other feedback that I've had thus far has been pile picks. Yep. Guys crushing limits of teal with the 6-inch high-vis. There was a hunter that had success with the low lights, though it's early season. I wouldn't recommend using the low lights quite yet. But I mean, they're working and they're working well. And if they don't work, you get your money back. There's no risk, right? So, but the responses thus far have been amazing. And people are quick to talk shit. Like they really are. And so I'm excited to hear so much positivity coming from the wings because there could be problems with them. I'm not an engineer. And, when it comes down to it, I'm expecting these things to suck. I just am. But I know they're going to kill ducks, at least for a while. And then we'll see how long they last. So I'm hoping that things continue to go the way that they're going. Currently, everything's awesome. The reports are amazing. Guys are happy that they float. And, it's been all good responses so far. So
Even
Fingers
just that in
crossed.
itself, like just the floating aspect. I mean, that's huge, right? Even if it looked exactly like the existing ones that are out there, if you can come out with something that floats, why wouldn't I buy that?
Right. And
I
they
would
float on
assume it's a
water
similar
and they
price.
float on land. So
Yeah.
I mean, get both. Never lose them.
Is price point similar than what, to what somebody would expect from the actual manufacturer of these spinning wing decoys?
Absolutely. And I always tell everybody the same thing. Like, dude, if you need a break on them, just call me. I'm going to take your phone call and I'm going to make them more affordable for you. I know that there's a lot of young guys that listen to your show. There's a lot of young duck hunters, and God knows we need more of them. We need as many young duck hunters as possible. So if these things are like, dude, I want to try these things, but I can't afford them, just call me. I'm going to make sure that you have them for the season. They're not going to be free, but they don't need to be full price. If folks want to support our company and pay full price for them, I'm always grateful for that. The larger ones are 32. So, comes with 2 wings, floating, lifetime satisfaction for $32. Not a bad deal. I think the shipping's like $7. And if you've ordered products from us before, go back and dig out your paperwork, because there's a free shipping for life code inside your box. If you don't have that code, I think shipping's like $7. But here's the kicker. If you buy a set of wings, you get the wings bag for just $20. And the wings bag is awesome just in general. Like, it's going to be a must-have for every duck hunter. I'm happy that I have so many of them, because I happen to own like 30 spinning wing decoys and I need somewhere to put my wings. So those are the large ones are 32. They vary from $26 to $32, depending on the size and shape that you want. But I tried to keep them right in the range of the other decoys. But you guys got to remember something, not you guys, but your listeners, man, it's just me here, right? Like, I'm not a conglomerate. I'm not a multi-million-dollar company that can bring my price down and make a couple bucks on a set of wings. I can't do that. It'll put me out of business. So my prices are competitive with the big guys, but I can't make them much lower. For now, you could support the company, help us grow. We can bring everything down. But right now, yeah, they're right where they need to be, in between $26 and $32.
Awesome. Seems reasonable to me.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
I hope so. So.
The drying bag for the wings, I got the touch and feel that at the expo. That's legit.
It's legit. And that was a prototype there.
Yeah.
So the real one is even nicer. We got 4 prototypes delivered to us when I ordered them from this bag maker. And they had different designs of the black felt that's in the front, or the black, it's not felt, it's like a poly something. It's like an umbrella material. Is the best way to put it. I didn't like it all the way down the front. It was beautiful, but I wanted airflow. So I ended up taking a knife and I cut it across to make that black strip across the front. You can see on the website. Unfortunately, during that cut, I cut the bag itself. So the one that you felt actually lost some of its viscosity, some of its strength, because the mesh had been actually sliced through the middle. The ones that you get actually have separators on the inside. So when you put your wings in, they'll be physically separated from each other, so they won't rub on each other. So you could fit 3 sets of wings inside one of those wings bags. And $20, I mean, it's a killer deal. And it's a great, we only have 1,000 of them in stock. We've already sold probably about 280 of them. So we're not reordering them this year. It was a pain in the absolute neck to get them. And, that's it. If you guys get lucky enough to get your hands on one of them, it's going to be a collectible.
I don't even know if I want to use it now. I got to keep this thing like mint condition.
Every one of them comes signed. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I was like, I just want one of these bags for the wings I have for my lucky duck, because I'm afraid I'm going to break them or lose them or something. So,
yeah. Well, guys always tell me, they go, well, I just throw my wings in the decoy bag. And I'm like, yeah, I do that too. Until you take the decoy out, and then all the wings slide across the bottom, like, even if there's pockets in the side, as soon as you take the decoys out, it loses its structure. It collapses on itself. The wings come out the side. You lose them in the grass. I've had a hell of a time organizing. I've got an entire giant bag of wings now, and only God knows how many are in there. But I know that other folks might not have that big of a problem, but having 3 or 4 spinners, it becomes cumbersome. So how is a guy like me going to tell you, hey, by the way, you need 4 sets of wings for each spinner? Like, dude, come on. That's why we wanted to introduce the wings bag, pair the wings bag with the decoy, keep those sets of wings for that decoy in one spot, and then just set the bags next to each other. It's an awesome system that we've created to try to allow hunters to change their wings during the hunt. And I know it's going to change your luck during the hunt.
Excellent. Matt, Jeff, what else? What do we miss?
Well, you got anything else? I mean, you got the wings you just released. You got the V2 Animator. You got more stuff in the works, George? Or I know your brain is just, churning, trying to find some new ideas here.
There are some things that I'm working on. A lot's changed. A lot's changed this year. I think that it does need to be talked about, that a lot of things in the waterfowl community are brought in from overseas in an attempt to make things more affordable for hunters here. And we're not ignorant to the fact that probably 95% of our full body decoys come from overseas, right? So these companies that are bringing these in are struggling to bring in materials. It's changing the dynamic. It is providing some money to the economy and the country, and it could be good overall. But it is very difficult for companies to start building giant factories here and all of a sudden producing waterfowl products here. It's not going to happen. So we did have some awesome things on the way. We're not immune to the tariffs, and it's been a little bit of a struggle trying to find the balance between consumer pricing and happiness and being able to survive in a changing world. So I'm not sure if we're going to bring out our new product next year or not. I'm hoping that we are. Folks that are interested in supporting our company from this podcast and sharing our innovations with the rest of the waterfowl community on your Facebook, Instagram, tagging us, or just making a simple phone call, allow us to get some more income for the year, could very easily push us into releasing that product next year. But we're really excited about a couple new things we got going on, and just going to have to wait and see, I guess.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I saw a new logo too. Was that this year?
Yeah, the entire website's new.
Okay.
So,
the logo, new website. Like, tell us about the inspiration behind the logo. I mean, it's a blue bird, so it makes sense, right?
Right.
Is there anything else that happened there which made you switch over?
Believe it or not, when I first started the company, the Animator was called the Cheater. In fact, I still have prototypes here that say Cheater on them. And our logo was 2-letter B's with a W in between. And the B's were mirrored. And I immediately learned that duck hunters are relatively simple in what they like to look at. And that is girls and ducks. So my logo had neither. So I needed to fix that. And so believe it or not, the logo is a female duck. No, I'm just kidding. It's
look closely. You need a magnifying glass.
No, so it quickly maneuvered into a duck, and I created the logo myself. It wasn't Chat GPT. It wasn't some designer. You could probably tell because it's pretty sucky. But I used a technique called the golden circles, or I can't remember. Is it the golden circles, Matt? Is that what it is?
Yeah, I think that's right. I know exactly what you're talking about, though.
All the companies use it. Apple, Target, Chevron, everybody that's made a logo uses this method. So I said, well, let's see how I can turn these circles into a duck. So if you look closely at our logo, you'll see that the wing coming up is part of a circle, and the wing following it is part of a larger circle. And if you look at the outer edge of both of those wings, it's a larger circle, right? And they all interact together, and it just so happened to make a perfect little curl tail at the base for another circle for the mallard curl. And that was a black duck with a circle around it. And I just wanted to be recognizable, simply recognizable. If you saw our duck somewhere, you would know that it's us. I think a lot about Dive Bomb and their logo. It's recognizable. You can see it, you know exactly what it is immediately. They didn't start that way. That didn't start that way, right? It started as some type of a marketing test to see how folks would react to it, and it turned out that it became recognizable. So I said, well, if I want to keep the duck, but I want it to be recognizable, what in the waterfowl world has never been done before? And it's a blue duck. It's a blue mallard. So I thought, why don't we make this a blue mallard? And we'll start this year by presenting to the world our blue mallard. I kept some continuity between the previous logo and the new one, where it still has the circle around the outside. On the website, it doesn't have the words, but on our products, it does still say Bluebird Waterfowl around it in very light toned colors. And my intention is next year, we're going to remove the letters completely. It's going to come down to the blue circle and the blue duck. And hopefully over the years, we're going to just completely break down into just the blue mallard. So when you see a hat or a jacket or a bag or a gun case or a product box and you see that blue duck, you'll know that it means quality. You'll know that it means care and customer service. You'll know that it kills ducks, and you know that you can trust it. So that's what I want to do with my logo, and that's why we changed it.
Super cool. No, I like it. Looks good.
It's the golden ratio. I had to look it up.
Golden ratio.
And if you guys haven't heard of, I mean, it's hundreds of years old. It's seen in like Da Vinci's Mona Lisa, Last Supper, and a lot of other famous paintings like throughout history. That ratio is seen in the art itself.
And all companies use it.
Yeah.
All companies. It's something having to do with the human mind. And how we look at things. For instance, what makes somebody attractive is the symmetry beyond the right and left hand side, right? That's human nature, and that's what I've learned a lot about people in this industry. Is the same thing I learned about fish when I was a captain, and the reason I understand ducks as a hunter is because as much as we think we're all different, everything's the same. And we all react the same way. We do the same thing. We have the same heart. We have the same mind. You might feel different, but instinctively, we are humans. Instinctively, they are ducks. And like my boss used to say, a fish is a fish is a fish. It doesn't matter what part of the world it is. So when it comes down to it, the golden ratio is a perfect segue into what makes the Animator so special. It's that this sound has been known for thousands of years. We're just introducing it again.
So the amount of stuff that I've learned on this podcast episode is mind blowing.
I just want to start clapping right now.
I know, right?
That
was like a walk off right there, George.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Mic drop. Yeah,
it was a legit mic drop there. Some of the stuff I learned before we hit record. I feel like I've heard of the golden ratio before, but I mean, it's got to be at least 15 years. So, I mean, that's awesome. That's cool stuff.
People hate the wings. They hate them. They don't look like a duck. Yeah. I've talked to all my guys. They're like, hey, I like the logo, but you got to change the wing. The wings look dumb. Don't do the wings. And I'm like, oh, it's the ratio. You can't change the wings.
The wings on the logo, not the product wings.
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. The wings on the logo.
I need to clarify that for all the listeners here.
No, we were just talking about the logo. It was a little segue. Yeah, no, the logo wings. Yeah, my guys are like, you got to change the wings. And I'm like, I don't think I can. I'm kind of like historically locked in to that wing. So
they tell you needed orange feet too. So
oh god. Yeah, dude. I mean, yeah, I get calls sometimes. They're like, hey, my Animator's hitting the foot on my duck. What do I do? And I'm like, take it off. What do you mean it doesn't need the foot? I'm like, no, dude, it doesn't need the foot. You can paint a pink stripe down the middle of your deep. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. By the time they're that close, it's over. It's over.
Yep. Exactly. All right. Matt, Jeff, any more burning questions for George? We've been rolling for over an hour. If we introduce another topic, we'll go for another hour here. Like I have a whole separate topic I want to talk to. Yeah, I was like, George, I want to talk to you like in depth about hunting ducks in California, like what that experience is like. Because we chatted a little bit about that at the show, and I was like, oh my gosh, a lot of our audience is in the Midwest. So being able to like hear what your experience is hunting on public land out in California would just be really awesome. But that's at least 30 more minutes here, right? We might not even be done with this. And of course, we got to finish with our Sky Blast questions, right? Or pass. What are we calling it? What are we calling it now?
We got to stick with Sky Blast.
Okay.
We can't go back now.
Okay. All right.
We can't go back.
You're allowed to say that now. You're allowed to say Sky Blast again. So
You're allowed to say it.
Yes.
Yeah, it's back. It's not canceled. No longer canceled.
We're canceled.
Uh,
So, Jeff, Matt, any other questions for George on the new products? Anything we've talked about? The way he's engineered some things, since you guys are engineers here. So,
no, man, I'm just excited to try them out. I really am really intrigued about the wings product. Obviously, I have the Animator, and it's worked for me so far. I'm happy with that. I'm excited to try it out. So I'm gonna be out there like every 10 minutes, just swapping out wings on this damn thing. That's gonna be the problem. that's the only downfall about this, I think.
Right, for the tinkerers, you're going to be tinkering a lot.
Tinkering a lot more.
at least you're not just pulling it out, you know.
Yeah. Well, and
So-
sometimes it's just that mindset of maybe this will work. Just keeps that excitement level up just a little bit more. And keeps you interested. Keeps you out there just a little bit longer.
That's what I'm doing right now is I'm going to check and see if the UpDuck code is still active on the website, because I think that'll be great. It is.
Oh no shit!
Free shipping on all products for your listeners. For United States listeners.
There
So
you
no
go.
matter what you order, use the code UpDuck, and yeah, it's been active since our last podcast. So
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
yeah, there it is. So
Sweet.
still active. So get on there, order up. We don't do free shipping for everybody unless you've already ordered products from us. So yeah, you get free shipping up front, then you get a code for free shipping for life.
Yes.
So
Keeping them coming back.
the win-win.
We appreciate that, George.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm happy to do it.
we do. Are we ready for Sky Blast, boys? I think we're ready.
I got a couple.
I got a question. So, all right, George, to
Okay.
refresh your memory here. So we wrap up with a rapid fire type scenario, right? We like to call Sky Blast questions. These are off the cuff, right? Anything is fair game. Could be your beer of choice. It could be your favorite duck. It could be what gun you're shooting. It could be anything and everything. We'll ask the questions. Your job is to spit out the first thing that comes to mind as the answer.
Let's go.
Okay. Who's ready to
Starting.
rock?
Matt, you go ahead.
Oh, I've only got one I can think of offhand because I've got a lot going on here. Any hunts planned this season that you're looking forward to?
Oh, man.
No. I learned very quickly that my plans don't matter between kids, family, and the business. I tried to make a teal hunt plan last year, and I broke my hand a week before that trip, and a variety of other similar type things seem to happen when I try to plan stuff. So if you got a hunt and I'm available, I'll go. If not, nothing planned.
All right, that's what I had.
All right.
Sure.
I'll go next. All right. I know you said that you listen to a lot of audiobooks, right? You said? Is that what it was?
Yeah, I do enjoy audiobooks. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe you don't watch a lot of TV, but what is your favorite TV show?
Oh, The Office.
Yes, my
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
That is,
No.
yeah, you're speaking my language now.
It's most folks would consider it a sickness. I can honestly say without exaggerating, I've seen The Office start to finish all the way through probably 35 or 40 times. And then on top of that, Peacock started their longer episodes, what they call their what do they call them?
Fan episodes or something like
Yes.
that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Super
They're
fan
40
episodes or something.
super fan
Yeah.
episodes. So
Yeah.
they're 45 minutes long now. So now I'm starting to memorize all the lines from the cut scenes, which to any Office fans out there, do yourself a favor. Trust me, just get through the first seasons, even if they're tough. Superstore, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine. There's a new one called American Auto. Is that it? American Auto. And then the new one, the paper, I don't know. I still haven't got through the first season yet, but all the other ones are made by the same guy, Justin Spitzer, who made The Office, same producer. And when you build the characters, we binge the crap out of those now too. So
I can vouch for Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Parks and Rec, and what was your third one there? All three. Yeah, Superstore. All three phenomenal. Hilarious.
If you're an Office fan, like super fan, you will enjoy the crap out of those other series. And there's lots and lots of episodes.
I tell you though, one question I have a follow-up on that. The super fan episodes. When I first started watching them, I was actually like frustrated because I had watched the same episodes over and over and over for so many times.
Right.
And then they throw in like a completely different scene and it just screwed with my mind to the point where I was like kind of pissed off. I almost didn't like it at first.
And it's not just a new scene. They throw in completely new beginnings.
Yeah, it's just
where the entire opening of the episode is different, and then it starts the show, and you're like, wait, was that just the new begin? And then when the show starts, you see the original beginning. Mike's jeans come to mind, but I mean, we could probably talk Office a lot, but
we could have a whole episode on just The Office. I feel like,
by far my favorite TV show of all time. Yeah,
that's awesome. All right, well, that was a long one, so I'll just have one more here. Hot sauce or buffalo sauce?
Oh man, hot sauce is just such an ambiguous answer though. Like what type of hot sauce? I'm a hot sauce guy for sure. Tabasco was a classic on the fishing boat, but I would say Tapatio or Cholula.
Oh yeah, those are good ones.
Yeah.
Good choice. All right. Go ahead, Tyler.
On the food train here, George. Are there any Midwestern type dishes that you've brought out to California and that you make?
Oh, rhubarb pie.
Okay. All right.
Rhubarb
pie is not something you see out here very often. There's one pie maker locally that makes it, but it's not a sour, but it's just a punch to that really good rhubarb pie. Yeah, that's probably one of the things that I've brought out here.
Oh, that sounds amazing. That. I love like a rhubarb pie or like rhubarb tart or something like that, where it's like the sweet from the sugary add to it along with that tartness. It just
It has everything to do with the crust. The crust has got to be perfect, and they got to have them sugar chunks.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
We're gonna have to have a rhubarb pie /Office episode
with some grocery store cookies.
We do some Office trivia. If you want to win a free Animator.
Oh, here we go.
Black Friday, we do Office trivia on my Instagram live, where you can call me and challenge Office trivia against my wife or standard trivia against my 13-year-old son. If you get it right, you can either take a free Animator or battle again for the grand prize, 2 Animators, a hard case, silent plate, and free shipping to battle one of those 2 people again. If you fail, you still get a 50% off coupon for whatever you want to order on the website. So if you get through the line, it's a win-win. It's an amazing time. We do it on I think it's Black Friday evening is when we do it. So it's a great time. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay. George, you need to send us a reminder on that. We will promote the crap out of that.
I might have to partake or join in on the fun here. Maybe we can throw in an up duck hat or something for people. If they
honestly, it's like the same 15 to 20 people kind of rotate turns. How it works is I have a pair of dice and I roll them out of screen, and if you guess the number, then you get on the show, and I say your name, and then you get the call. So if you guys want to join in, and I mean, we could just, BS like this and talk, and that's what it's about. And then occasionally we'll bring in a caller. We'll go back to talking and hanging out. It's a great time. I started doing it a couple of years ago. It was a blast. And it started off was, are you smarter than a 5th grader? But now my son is he's in 7th grade. My daughter's in 10th grade. So the trivia is getting a little bit more difficult, but, believe it or not, my son won a lot.
With these super fan episodes, you might be able to really throw in some curveballs here. And
Oh, dude, you can't mess with me on office trivia. Yeah. No, I'll bet a
That's
gun on
great.
that. Speaking of which, guys, just so you know, I know it's the 23rd. I think it stops at the 30th. I don't know when you're launching this episode. Are you launching it before the 30th?
Tomorrow, hopefully.
Tomorrow.
Yes.
Before September 30th, go on Retail USA, Instagram, or my Instagram. There are links to a giveaway. Retail is giving away 2 shotguns, their brand new Ace version and another version. Bluebird Waterfowl is giving away a 2-man, 4-night Argentina dove hunt. $500 Bluebird Waterfowl gift card. Kent Ammunition's giving away a case of shot shells. Frog Tog's got a $300 gift card. Vision Tech, I think, is giving away binoculars. It's all on the website. There's quite a few different people. Gunbroker.com, I think, has a $200 gift card, but you can enter to win, and that drawing is coming up early next month.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll get linked up to that. We'll talk about other ways we can help promote that too. So via social.
Yeah, I probably should have let you know a little bit sooner.
That's okay. Yeah, that, you know what, we just kind of make it up as we go here, and it's fun.
I have a great time with you guys. I was so happy when you invited me back on, and I hope it becomes an annual thing. Even if we don't talk products, we could talk hunting and just hang out. I have a great time on your show. I'm very honored to be here.
Appreciate that very much, very much. So I have one final question for you. One final one here. So you mentioned that right, you listen to audiobooks. I am curious. Do you have any favorite books or recommended books? Any ones you go back and reread?
Think and Grow Rich is not about money. Think and Grow Rich is about understanding how your mind works. And that, to me, is the most important book aside from the Bible that everybody should read in this country, because it teaches you that you can do anything. And where Bluebird Waterfowl came from was my hunt for sobriety when I was struggling during the pandemic with things other than beer. And it was very difficult for me to break away from my friend group that was also struggling, and for me to be a bigger part of my family. And I wanted it so badly that I just kept, you can call it prayer, you can call it premonitioning or prophesizing, that to get out of the situation that I was in. And when I decided that it was time to change my life, the focus and energy that I put towards my sobriety and to be a better person came to fruition almost immediately when the Animator randomly popped into my head on a drive home from a normal duck hunt that I've done 1,000 times. And you can call it luck, you can call it God, a coincidence, whatever you want. But if you really want something and you focus all of your energy onto it and put the work in, you will get it. And that, to me, is probably the best thing that I've ever learned. And that came from Think and Grow Rich from Napoleon Hill.
Beautiful.
And I listened to it over and over and over.
Okay. So. All right. I am familiar with the book. I have never read it, but I will make sure that it gets read here sooner rather than later. All right.
Very old. It's a very old book.
That's okay. That's all right. That's okay. The concepts that you're talking about within it, though, the age of the book doesn't matter.
Yep. That's what makes it exciting,
Yes, exactly.
Because it's still to this day stands true. But,
yep. All right, George, you want to plug your website, socials real quick for everybody that's listening?
Bluebird Waterfowl, man. BluebirdWaterfowl.com, Bluebird Waterfowl at Insta, Bluebird Waterfowl on Facebook. Call me, 707-536-0216, 800-564-0914. Both numbers are on the website. Come directly to my cell phone. You can go explore the new website if you want. It's awesome. We put a lot of hard work into it. There's action videos in there of the Animator actually working birds. There's interactive videos where you can figure out which decoys you hunt with Animators work best, get your instructions, But the best thing to do is just call me. I love to talk ducks. I love to talk fishing. I love to talk. So give me a call. We'll have a conversation, and you can learn more about me and my company.
Beautiful. I think that's a great way to wrap it up here before I hit the stop record button. George, thank you again for taking time out of your very busy schedule to hop on with us. I can say that I personally enjoyed this conversation. Loved our previous one, and definitely are looking forward to having you back on again.
Excited to be here, guys. I really appreciate it. Jeff, Matt, you guys are awesome too. Matt, you're quiet down there in the corner, but loved having you in my booth. Caught me off guard a little bit, but like I said off air, really nice to see you. Came at the perfect time when we weren't too busy. But if you guys are from the northern areas, Wisconsin, we go to the game fair every year. Wisconsin Waterfowl Expo. If you're in the South, we got the Nashville show and Squad Fest. If you're out west, we've got ISE coming up. You can come. If you're not going to meet me at the booth, you're going to meet my guys. And, like I said, don't be shy. If you need a deal on the product, talk to one of us. Talk to one of my guys at the booth. Talk to me on the phone. We're going to get you hooked up. Make sure you guys hunting with Bluebird Waterfowl products. It's going to be a good time.
Excellent. Perfect. All right. If you made it this far, thank you. Appreciate it. Leave us a quick review. And then we will see you all next week. Later.